In this lesson, we'll cover two groups of Python string methods. The first group is about methods that can change the case of the characters in the string they've been applied to. The second collection regards methods used for stripping characters from a specified string. Let's begin with the methods from the first group. We'll use the string S3 as our example object. That contains the string Mrs. Amy Moore. Applying the upper method to S3 will lead to an output where all characters have been written in uppercase letters. Analogously, the lower method transforms all letters into lowercase letters. The capitalize method will return the same string with the following modifications. The first character of the string will be converted into a capital or uppercase letter, while the remaining characters will all be in lowercase letters. The title method will deliver a string in which each word starts with an uppercase letter followed by lowercase letters. Of course, since our S3 already has each word capitalized, applying title wouldn't alter it. We can verify that for a fact by executing the following equality and obtaining a true value. S3 equals to S3 dot title parentheses. The title method can work great if you want to turn a certain piece of text into a title. And you don't need to necessarily apply it to a variable. You can implement it on a string object directly. For example, with the help of the title method, cost per unit, where only cost begins with a capital letter, can be converted into a string where per and unit start with an uppercase letter too. Great! Now we turn to the second group of methods. They relate to stripping characters from a given string object. Let's see their application in action directly. We'll work on a new string called S4, containing the following text, Quarterly Earnings Report. Please note that it will have a few whitespace characters both at the beginning and the end of the string. They mimic a real-world situation in which you have to deal with flawed electronic data. So, how can you solve that to proceed with your analysis? You'll need to get rid of these whitespace characters first, right? In this case, you'll need the Python built-in strip method. When we apply it on a string like S4, it will remove all whitespace characters at the beginning and the end by default. Of course, indicating a whitespace character between quotes as an argument within the parentheses will lead to an identical output. Choosing an argument for the strip method can be quite an interesting task. What this method does is look for any of the characters specified between the quotes in both ends of the given string. Then it will remove all these specified characters until it encounters a different character. To keep things simple, consider the following example. Assume we want to indicate the whitespace character and the letter R as a string argument. Do we have any whitespace characters on both ends of S4? Yes, we do. So we can expect them to be removed upon the execution of this cell. Then, do we encounter the letter R within S4? Not before the letters Q, U, and A on the left, and the letter T on the right. Hence, we won't expect the letter R to be removed from the output in this situation. Therefore, after applying the strip method with an argument of whitespace character R on S4, should lead to the same output obtained during the last two executions. Great! To solidify our understanding of the application of the strip method, let's try the letters Q and T together. Thus, our string argument becomes whitespace character QNT. Since S4 starts with a Q and ends with a T, these two letters will be removed from the given string. Moreover, the string proceeds with a U on the left and an R on the right. Therefore, the Q at the beginning and the T at the end should be the only characters to be removed, apart from the whitespace characters. Correct? Yes, that's true. All right. However, don't forget that as we specify certain characters, we're not using the strip method in its default version. This means that we shouldn't take the removal of whitespace characters for granted. In other words, if we execute the same cell with just Q and T as a string argument, without providing a whitespace character, our output won't differ from the original string, S4. Now that it's clear how the strip method works, let's think about the moments when you don't want to strip characters from both sides of the given string. That is, what if you want to remove characters from the beginning or the end only? In that case, you can opt for lstrip or rstrip, respectively, where L stands for left and R for right. Other than that, lstrip and rstrip are exactly like strip. So, if we apply lstrip to S4, we will obtain the same string without the whitespace characters at the beginning. Similarly, rstrip applied to S4 will lead to an output with no whitespace characters at the end. Perfect! Of course, there is the possibility to use entire words as string arguments of the strip methods, so to speak. However, you should be handling this function very carefully. For instance, if you decide to strip the whitespace character and the word quarterly, you'd actually strip a part of the words earnings and report as well. This happens regardless of whether you use strip or lstrip. So, if the string S4 contains meaningful words, you can do the following. Create a modified version of the original string where the whitespace characters at both ends have been removed. An example of such a modified string is S5 as shown in this cell. From now on, you can take advantage of the whitespace characters that separate the words in S5 as boundaries until which you can strip words. For example, you can strip quarterly from the left and report from the right immediately. Nice! Please bear in mind that you won't always be working on meaningful strings. In such cases, you can rely on the main functionality of the strip methods to solve data cleaning issues. In a variable called S6, we'll store the same text, quarterly earnings report, but we'll also add whitespace and other characters at the beginning and the end. In that case, you don't even need to know precisely which these extra characters are. Just provide all characters you expect to encounter as a string argument of the strip method. Then executing the cell will lead to a meaningful result. Great! We hope you enjoyed watching this video. See you in the next one.